Election results is what it is. Let's see, is the lady here with the...
We had a number of folks still signing up, so Patrick's going to bring them up here.
Okay, is the lady here that's supposed to be here with the red ribbon?
Yes, she's sitting over there behind, the gentleman that's probably going to speak tonight, Proctor.
Yeah, with black
Light sweater,
yes,
glasses.
Okay.
Yes. And she's already met Timmy and...
What is her name? That's okay.
Nope, I've got it right here. Her name's Belle Mathis.
Belle Mathis. Okay, thank you.
Drug-Free Communities Coordinator.
Okay. Yes,
And I introduced her to Timmy, and
okay.
he kind of went over with
We'll go
her.
down and have a picture like we normally do, I suppose.
Right up there. Christy.
Anybody here with the media that you see? I don't see anybody, do you?
I don't see any yet.
Well, it's not the end of the world if I miss somebody. Call this meeting to order. It's 5:30, and all of you know we're going to start promptly at 5:30. But I'd like to welcome each one of you here tonight. We're still trying to get the sign-up sheet in, and we'll have that in just a few minutes. But going to remind you to silence your cell phones, please, if you will. And if it does ring, if you go into court or answer it, come back in and take your seat again. Tonight, we're going to have Commissioner Rushing. I'm going to ask him to give the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If y'all stand with us, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, thank you for this day and all your many blessings. Just thank you for all you do for us, Lord. Be with the sick and the bereaved, and let your will be done in their families and in their lives, Lord. Just bless the farmers as they're in the picking season. Let the yields be high and the weather be good for them, Lord. Just keep our police and first responders and armed forces, everybody that works to keep us safe and free. Just watch over them, keep them safe, Lord. Please be with this commission. Help us to make the best decisions we can, and most of all, let them be pleasing to you. These things I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we're going to have a presentation of a proclamation recognizing Red Ribbon Week. And I often read these, but as I normally do also, I want to involve other commissioners. So we're going to ask Commissioner Rushing to go out front. He's going to read the proclamation, and Miss Belle Mathis will come up and receive the proclamation. And when this is over with, then we will have pictures made.
Yes, ma'am. I think she wanted to say a few words first.
Okay, sure.
I'll turn it this way.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for having us here. My name is Belle Mathis. I'm with the Bulloch Alcohol and Drug Council. And here with me tonight are some of our youth action team members, the Bulloch Game Changers, and our executive director, Ms. Joyce Stubbs. We would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for their continuous support of Red Ribbon Week, which is a national campaign held each year from October 23rd through the 31st. You may remember some of the events of Red Ribbon Week when you were in elementary school, where you'd put red ribbons on a fence or wear them to school. There was usually a bookmark contest, and many people coming to talk to you, people like me. I wanted to remind you why Red Ribbon Week exists. This campaign is in honor of DEA agent Enrique Kiki Camarones. He lost his life while working to take down drug traffickers in Guadalajara, Mexico. His sacrifice unites millions each year to celebrate Red Ribbon Week and educate about the harms of drug use. Let's honor Special Agent Kiki Camarones and his memory by working to promote a drug-free Bulloch County. Thank you for your support.
I'm gonna leave off some of the whereases, and I can tell you, like she said, Red Ribbon Week is hard to say real fast, so. Bulloch County Board of Commissioners proclamation. The Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in all communities in Georgia during Red Ribbon Week, October the 23rd through October 31st, 2023. The Georgia Red Ribbon Campaign is part of a nationwide Red Ribbon campaign sponsored by Natural Federation of Parents to call attention to the devastating effects of drug and alcohol abuse on individuals, families, and communities. The state of Georgia has sponsored Red Ribbon campaign since 1987 to encourage the citizens of Georgia to make a personal and public commitment to drug-free living. Business, government, law enforcement, school, service organizations, youth, and individuals will demonstrate their commitment to drug-free, healthy lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week-long campaign. The Bulloch County Board of Commissioners commits its responsibility to ensure the success of the Red Ribbon Campaign. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Bulloch County Board of Commissioners does hereby support the Red Ribbon Campaign and encourages neighbors, co-workers, friends, families, and communities aware, make our communities aware of the Red Ribbon. Real life is drug-free. It witnessed, therefore, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of Bulloch County Board of Commissioners to be affixed third day of October 2023. Signed, sealed, and delivered, Bulloch County Board of Commissioners. Yeah.
Game Changers.
Yep. If y'all want to come up, Commissioner, you want to come down? How y'all want to do it?
Start here. Yeah, we stand here, down. All right, we'll stay up. All right, we level, equal, yeah.
Podium out.
And last one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not through yet. How'd you get it?
How'd you get it?
Okay. Thank y'all for coming. Before we call the roll, I was looking around, I see Al Hackle here now with Statesboro Herald. Is anybody else here with any media? Al, we thank you for coming. Next, we'll have Miss Mincy White. Call the roll for the commissioners, please.
I, Venus Mitzi White, present as Clerk of the Board of Commissioners of Bulloch County, hereby call the roll for those on the governing body. All those present shall answer by saying aye. Chairman Roy Thompson.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Ray Mosley.
Aye.
Commissioner Timmy Rushing.
Aye.
Commissioner Anthony Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Toby Connor.
Aye.
Commissioner Kurt Deal. Commissioner Jack P. Stringer. I've determined that we have 5 members of the Board of Commissioners present. Therefore, we have a quorum to conduct business for the good of the citizens of Bulloch County. I now yield the floor back to the chairman.
Thank you very much. We have read and looked over the zoning agenda. I need a motion to approve the zoning agenda if there's no change.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Mr. James, if you would take over now, please.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's see, why is this not? Can you advance the mouse? Yes. Which one? That one. This one? This one? Okay. Back up here. Just, it's over here and try and click on it. Yeah, now click. Is that? I apologize, I was trying to get all the way up to the beginning. Somehow it got on the last slide. All right.
Student driver.
If you'll just present. Agenda item 1 tonight is a conditional use request by Julie Miller, who has submitted an application for the conditional use of her dwelling and accessory building as a home occupation, which is conducted in an accessory building, excluding automotive repair. The specific use would be for the operation of Big Dog Snow Cone food truck, which involves the production of ice blocks, storage supplies, and food prep for the operation. The property is located at 141 Windmill Plantation Drive. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval with the staff conditions that were in the staff report, with an additional condition which states the conditional use will expire upon the transfer of the parcel or property ownership. The staff recommends a denial of the conditional use request. However, conditions are suggested if approval is granted.
Who is presenting it? Do we know?
A little bit of background for this case. You did hear this this case at your last zoning agenda commission meeting, in which it was deferred to today's meeting, in which the Development Services Office did talk to Ms. Miller, who reached out to us about the questions that we discussed in the previous commission meeting. And in regards to the condition with the grease trap, I think our recommendation would stand with that condition. But of course, it's at the pleasure of the board of how you want to proceed with any condition or approval. The location of the property, again, is in Windmill Plantation, which is a residential subdivision. The property is located on approximately 2 acres, which it accesses a county-maintained paved road. And here's some photos of the site. As you'll see, surrounding properties are single-family residences. And then this is the residence. You can see the food truck there parked in the driveway. And the accessory building would be essentially an extension of that driveway, with one of the conditions addresses that with screening for that. And with that, I'll entertain any questions from the board. And if hearing none, I'll ask Ms. Julie Miller to the podium as the applicant.
Hi, and thank you for, can you hear me? Thank you for listening to this again. I don't know if I'm supposed to bring up the petition and everything else that we discussed last time. I've been doing some research, and in regards to the review, which was this sheet that I was given with the list of yeses and nos pertaining to the conditional use requirement, and then the Bulloch County, continued to be the Bulloch County Department of Review. I had answers to some of the things that I thought had changed or needed clarification on my end. So if we follow along with the review number 1, conditions and standards, I believe when the application was made, the road was under private ownership, and now it is a county-maintained road. So the question to that, I guess, could be yes at this point instead of no. As far as number 2, adequate space for any of the 7 homeowners that might be affected by the 10-minute time frame of a delivery, truck parked at the edge of the roadway, that there's an adequate line of sight to pass the truck safely, and plenty of room for emergency vehicles should one occur in that 10-minute time span as well. That was one of the other ones that was checked no. And at the last meeting, I believe, I had passed around to the board members the picture of the truck that makes the deliveries, that it's not this, 52-foot semi-truck. It's a rather small box truck attached to a cab over truck. And then as far as screening and buffering, number 4 is adverse effects specifically listed in number 4 are noise, light, glare, and odor, and none of these are produced by the business, as we're not operating the actual food truck at the house. The building is specifically designed, or we're specifically asking for the use of the building for ice production, which would occur inside, and storage of supplies that are needed to run and maintain and operate the food truck. That also was checked no. Number 5 and 6, yes and yes, and then 7, proposed conditional use consistent with purpose and intent of zoning ordinance. I believe, other than the food delivery truck, that yes it does, because we're not operating a business out of the home. We're just asking for the building to be used for storage and ice production. And then referring back to the petition, there was 32 out of the 44 neighbors that were in favor or unopposed to deliveries and the building itself. Then going on to specifically land use impact, I believe the neighborhood, they said the neighborhood is primarily residential, but there are at least 6 other business operating in the neighborhood. Zoning patterns, they said that the sketch does not appear to be consistent with zoning patterns in the nearby area, yet 22 out of the 44 homes in this neighborhood have accessory buildings, and approximately half of those buildings that exist are larger than the building that I am requesting this permit for. Neighborhood character, we're planning on keeping it classy here. We're not trying to have the truck as it exists in that picture. We want to extend the driveway. That's part of the building permit, I guess, that we're asking for, is to extend the driveway so we can move the truck and trailer further back on the property and then enclose it where you can't see it from the road. And as far as property values, the tax assessor's office assured me that the changing of the zoning, should the conditional use be approved, that would not affect property values at all. Other than us building an accessory building on the property, would increase the value of our property because of the accessory structure being there. Sorry, Red Ribbon Week got me. As far as the water and sewer impact, the septic tank permit has already been issued by the health department. There are no county or state ordinances prohibiting installation of a grease trap at a residence. And any mention of grease trap in county ordinance regulations, they reference regulations to be determined by the health department as far as restaurants and things like that. Solid waste impact, that was one of the other things. We're not gonna have a dumpster bin. We have 2 household garbage cans, most of the events and festivals that we go to collect the garbage from the trucks before they leave, so that's not been an issue for us. We've not had to, have a dumpster bin of any kind. We don't produce a lot of trash that we would need to take with us to dump anywhere else. And then as far as the traffic impact, the deliveries would be made between 6:30 and 7:30 is when the food truck would run in the morning, which would impact very few people. The truck would be stopped, so it would affect my 2 neighbors that are here in favor, one directly across the street and one directly beside us, that are not opposed to this at all. They've told me that they don't ever hear the truck come and go when it's coming. And there's, I believe, 3 retirees and 2 households that work from home, so they're not even coming and going at those hours, and I think 1 school teacher. The other fellow that lives at the end of the road, he doesn't get up till about 9 o'clock to leave, so it wouldn't impact him at all either. I'll go ahead and stop there, I guess.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
I have a Mr. and Mrs. George Brent. Okay, if you'd like to speak at this time, you can come up to the podium.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm a neighbor. I'm right across the street. I have frontage. I have one of the largest lots there, and so my frontage actually covers 7 driveways on the other side. So when they pull that truck to the side of the road, there's absolutely no problem with anybody going by. I have no problem with what they're doing. Everybody has a right to make a living, and they want to do the best by putting a building to put their stuff in and house it, so nothing's sitting around. So my vote is I'm in favor for them.
Thank you.
Lori Brent.
As my husband George had stated, we live directly across the street. I am an early riser, but I do not leave until later in the day, or later in the morning, but I have no issues whatsoever with what they're doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ivy Miller. No? Okay. Okay, all right, your name was on there. And then Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson.
Said he ain't back now.
Ivy, you're a little confused, I think.
He's just the fruit face.
That's the best move right there.
Yeah, so I'm Justin Jackson. Me and my family, we live right next door to them. We have no issues of the home-based operation. The truck, it actually parks right in front of our house, but we have no problem with it. We work from home, so we don't have to leave or anything. And also, they're always out in the community doing good things for the community. So I feel like that, having this operation and stuff would just only let them be in the community doing what they love to do and making it better for the people. So
Thank you.
we approve.
Thank you. That's all. That's all we had signed up. No one in opposition, so commissioners have any questions? Then hearing none, I will ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept this conditional use with the conditions.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, can I get a point of clarification? Is that including the planning and zoning recommendation? So a total of the 8 conditions?
You don't have a problem with the conditions, right?
Yes.
But
The delivery time that they have is between 8 and 5:30, and the truck that would deliver food comes between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m.
Is that the only condition?
And it says deliveries using commercial vehicle greater than 2 axles is prohibited. The truck that I showed y'all the picture of is obviously greater than 2 axles. But
And that-
there's, according to Georgia OCGA, there's no
What-
laws stating that a semi-truck cannot make deliveries to a home, to a residential neighborhood.
Out of the 8 conditions, what conditions do you have a problem with?
1, 2, and, I believe that's it.
I'll make a motion to accept this conditional use with the conditions of last 1, 2, and what?
Well, there's 5, number 5 as well.
And 5.
could I ask a brief question?
Come on.
So in the previous meeting, the grease trap was, I think, the point of why it got deferred. But the bulk fluids or oils storage, I just want to make sure, that condition had kind of 2 components. Do you want to strike 5 in its entirety?
You can leave if you want the bulk, because she's done stated that they're not going to put
Okay.
bulk waste on their place.
I'll remove the grease trap, basically to say no bulk fluid or oils storage.
That's fine.
Okay.
But the grease trap's going to be permitted through the health department with the state of Georgia behind it anyhow. That is not we don't have any say in that one way or another.
We had a motion and a second on the floor, didn't we? Let's go. Okay. All right, any more questions? Then we had a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much,
Ma'am.
appreciate your time.
He wasn't coming out.
If you scroll up. All right, as we get this reset, agenda item 2 is a rezone request by Mr. Paul Smith, who has submitted an application to rezone 30.62 acres from R80 residential 80,000 square foot minimum lots to Ag 5 agricultural 5 acres. The property is located at 339 Ballpark Road. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval by a 6-0 vote, and staff recommends approval of the rezone request. This property is just to the southeast of Stilson. As you'll see on the current zoning map, Ag 5 properties are just one parcel over. This parcel does meet the minimum requirements for an Ag 5 parcel. Is currently used in an agricultural setting. I think the R80 zoning was placed there in the original zoning map in '94. However, no residential development has taken place on the property.
James, pardon me for a minute. Can you turn our tablets on? I mean, we can follow it on our tablets, but can you turn our screens on?
Just the 2 on the end, aren't we?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was not.
That's fine, we can follow it on the tablet. I can actually see one on your head.
I don't know why it's not. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, please follow. I got you right.
which these photos are in your staff report. But what I'm showing here is the current aerial of the property. Again, zoomed out a little bit. Highway 80 is just to the west. And following this, I would have had photos of the property. Essentially, it accesses the property from a county-maintained dirt road. And those photos are in your staff report as well. With that, I'll ask Mr. Paul Smith to come to the podium and add anything he wishes to add.
Good evening. Yeah, this property has historically always been farmed. I've done the research through the historical topographic maps. It's currently leased. It's in the CUVA program as well. It's currently approximately 7 acres, and that's enrolled in the Farm Services row crop program.
Questions? All right, we've got 2 more signed up to speak, if we'll. Thank you.
Mr. Randy Proctor.
I'm very disappointed in this meeting tonight. These chairs ought to all be full. And I called over 100 people myself. So
Thank you,
I want to
son.
say that before I get started. But anyhow, good evening. My name is Randy Proctor. And when I wrote this, I put down good evening, commissioners, and Mr. Couch. But I scratched through that. I don't know. I went to the Webster Dictionary and looked up commissioners, and I really don't think you gentlemen kind of fit. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna call you fellas, and I'm gonna call our lawyer friend over here the same. All right, I'm here for we the people. Now, y'all may not know this, but I got a copy of our Constitution of the United States of America.
Randy, let me ask you a question, and I hate to do this, but I think you're talking about the wells now,
The wells, I'm talking about the wells, the zoning,
but not
and the
the
taxes.
not the gentleman just
What?
spoke. The gentleman that just spoke, you're not talking about his,
No, 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 not at all. No.
then we've got your name on the wrong page.
You got my name on the wrong page. I'm on the page that signed up online. Mr. Simmons here, I'm not real good with a computer, but Mr. Simmons done the signing up for me.
I think when you came in, you signed up on the two
Oh, I'm
planning and
signing
zoning.
up on- Yeah.
Yeah.
I opposed, but that's wrong.
Okay,
I didn't
so,
understand that the gentleman was going up.
so you're gonna come a little later on in the,
No,
on
so
the
you can
agenda.
trash that.
Okay, we're gonna call you in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
We need to finish with the last one first.
Fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so
All right. I think it's Tarsley. Tarsley? Wrong one? Okay, so that's it. There's no opposition.
Okay, we
No one
have-
signed up to speak.
all right. His name was Mr. What?
Tarsley.
No,
I need to move him on here.
okay. All right. For the last gentleman that spoke, does anyone have any questions for him about wanting to change his property? I think it was R80 back to Ag 5.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve his request.
Second.
All right, we have a motion, approve. We have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you. Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Agenda item 3 tonight is a rezone request by Mr. Timothy Craig Jennings, who's seeking to rezone 5.38 acres from an R15 residential 15,000 square foot lot minimum to Ag 5 agricultural 5 acres. The property is located at 615 Cal Sorrel Road. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval by a 5-0 vote. And then staff recommends approval of the rezone request. This property is located and accessed off of Cal Sorrel Road, but also it sits on the backside of the Eagle Villa manufactured home community. And this was zoned at the time of that development. However, this parcel was retained by the owner, and at that time, or since then, it's been an R15 zone. However, you'll see in this map, the zoning map, an R80 zone is just to the north of it, as well as the property has been maintained and used as really an agricultural setting, not necessarily row crop or timber, but I do believe the owner has a number of animals on the property. And so that would be the reason for the rezone. You'll see the property there with the aerial photo. There is a structure on the property, but it does meet the requirements of an Ag 5 parcel. And then this is the access to the property on Kyle Sorrel Road. And with that, I'll ask Mr. Craig Jennings to the podium if he wishes to add anything.
Mine's just a simple, like he said, my grandkids is wanting to have a few little cows, little mini cows on the property, so I'm just trying to get it back over into Ag 5. More or less simple as that.
Okay. There's nobody signed up against, so, am I correct?
That's it.
All right, so, commissioners have any questions? And hearing none, I'll call for a motion.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion and second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much for coming. Yes, sir. That's it. All right, that completes the zoning agenda. Next, we move into the general agenda. Before I entertain a motion to approve the general agenda, do we have any other discussion or modifications desired by the board? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the general agenda.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. On our consent agenda, we have 9 items, and I will read those. One is approve the minutes for Monday, August the 21st, 2023. 2 is approve the minutes for Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2023. Third, approve the minutes for Tuesday, September the 5th, 2023. 4, approve the minutes for Friday, September the 8th, 2023. 5, approve an amendment to a real estate sales contract by and between Bulloch County and Cangeter Properties, LLC. 6, approve the purchase of voter hubs from Runbeck Election Services. 7 is approve a resolution to adopt the restated flexible benefit plan. 8 is approve a purchase of 10 poll pads from Nowinkie in the amount of $21,250. Number 9 is a motion to grant the Station of Statesboro, LLC, a special events permit for 5 different dates as stated. We can vote on these collectively, or if you have any question about any of them, we can move that particular item or items to new business.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as read. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. Next will be under new business, and the Assistant Public Works Director, Robert Siemens, will come up and discuss this next item. And Mr. Randy, you're next. I don't think he can hear.
Robert Siemens, Assistant Public Works Director, Bulloch County. Good evening. Staff recommends and requests the consideration of a motion for award to purchase of two Reynolds Warren equipment for the purchase of a 2021 Craftco Mastic Patcher 2 trailer unit in the amount of $58,906, and the purchase of one truckload of Craftmatic Mastic 1 seal material, 43,200 pounds, in the amount of $34,600, which is under state bid contracting. In addition, staff also recommends and requests the consideration of a motion for award of purchase to Wade Ford the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-450 cab and chassis in the amount of $71,682, with custom split dump bed, the amount approximately $18,000, in the estimated amount total of $89,682 through state bid pricing. Total cost for the requested items, $183,188. These items will be purchased with funds from T-Spliced. In an effort to expand our pavement preservation program, Public Works has rented a Craftco Mastic Patcher 2 trailer unit over the past 10 weeks. With this unit, we've applied 43,200 pounds of Mastic 1 material throughout various areas of Bulloch County, paved roads under various conditions. Excuse me. Specifically as an overlay to our current pothole patches and inverted crown seals, crack seals, we have had very good results. On the pictures in front of you, this is a prime example of gator cracking in our asphalt that we see all over the county. Here we have the mastic being applied to the area. What the mastic does, it's a polymer, asphalt polymer that actually goes in and helps bind those pieces together to keep them from separating out and fragmenting even further. This is in the future, whenever we do come back and do overlays, we can pave directly over this as we advance through repairing the roads further down in years to come. Here's a typical pothole patch that we're making now. We go in, we do make the repair as normal, and immediately come back and do the mastic overlay directly on top of the existing pothole. Application to these areas have resulted with no area repair failures. Everything that we've put down has held up. We've been monitoring. Here's a large area repair that was also mastic overlaid. By adding this tool and material to our program, we can show cost savings and reduction of repair returns, increasing our road surface life, and giving us additional time before the resurfacing is needed. With the purchase of the trailer unit, we would need to purchase a suitable truck for pulling the unit as well as carrying the crew and its needed supplies. With the purchase of this unit, we would anticipate a projected material cost of mastic 1 seal material would be approximately $100,000 to $120,000 over the next year. We would order a truckload at a time, as previously mentioned in the package. Moving forward, we expect to expand the use of this material to more extensive road repairs, extending the useful lives of our paved roads. Mr. Thompson.
All right. Do we have any questions? I think a lot of us witnessed that particular equipment in operation, did we not?
Yes, sir.
And so, all right, see any questions or comments? And I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion, second, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any other names other than this that's signed up to school? Anything else?
That's it.
7.
And they each have 5 minutes. They each have 5 minutes.
Yes. Well, good business to see. Need to ask a question, and we've got 7 people signed up to speak on the next item. And we will give 5 minutes each. So that would be 35 minutes. Or if you have a spokesperson that needs more minutes, then we'll set that clock at 35 minutes, and that is treating everybody equally. Ma'am?
I think that each individual person wants to speak because I don't believe that everybody's speaking about the same thing.
All right, then we've got some. No, it's 5 minutes. It's 10. All right, we're going to call each name out. You got 5 minutes. And when the dinger goes off, you can finish your sentence, and then you would sit down. And that's the way we've run it ever since I've been the chairman. And that's the way we're going to run it tonight. And so, all right, who is first?
Courtney Martin. Courtney Martin. Randy Proctor.
Well, I'm sorry about the confusion, but anyway, I'm talking about zoning, water wells, and taxes. And that's what my concern is, and a lot of the people, I've been all over the county, and our citizens are concerned. Now, I've read in We the People are first 3 words in our Constitution of the United States of America. And I'm talking about we the people. So, other words, fellas, I looked up in Webster's dictionary what was considered for commissioner. And I've looked at y'all's bonds. I've looked at a lot of stuff. And I don't know. We went off on a tangent that we didn't need to go off on. Which one of them was those wells was the biggest mistake we've made. And that's ridiculous for us to have to furnish water for a Korean car plant on American soil. Now, I don't know who y'all working for. If you're working for the Brian Kemp, or you working for the special interest, or you working for somebody, but when you doing what y'all have done, you ain't working for the people of this county. And that's the way I and a lot of other people feel. Now, with that being said, I don't know who has appointed y'all God and King over us, but this is a King James Version of the Bible. And our King and our God is in heaven. He ain't on his commission. And when you do things like you taking into the water consideration, evidently some of you gentlemen have not read these reports about the Florida aquifer. But I've read every one of them. I stayed up at night and read them. And if they were true when they were written, they still true, fellas. And this comment about if you draw my well up and you're not responsible, and it's an act to God or an act to nature, no, sir. That ain't gonna go. That dog don't hunt. And if you're doing that to get money from Brian Kemp, then that ain't right. It just ain't right. So that's what I'm trying to get across. And there's just a lot of things going on here that should not be going on. So I gave Mr. Connor one of these when he was running to be elected. So I'm gonna give him another one today. And I helped Timmy Rushing get elected. I can't remember whether I helped Mr. Stringer or not, but I have, these two gentlemen I have. I got one for Mr. Stringer, and I'd like to see that Mr. Stringer gets it, please. Mr. Thompson, sure copy. And in that, this come from the Old Testament, what I gave these fellows, in the King James Version. And it tells you about what constitutes a good leader and a bad leader. So I'd like for each of y'all not to read it now, but when you read it when you get home tonight, and I'd very much like for y'all to evaluate yourself. Because my evaluation of y'all ain't good. And I'm very displeased. And we're making a conscious effort in this county to get enough signatures to have something done. Because I do not want my well dried up. And I said that the first time I came and spoke. And a lot of people have spoke here on the tax issue that fellas are on a fixed income. Now, what y'all think y'all doing? And the school board's gonna do what y'all do. And I know, I've heard this, I don't have nothing to do with the school board, and I understand that. But if you up your percents, and Timmy tried to explain all this to me, well, the 2 and 2 don't make 4. So, I don't know, but I'm telling you, y'all please take a good hard look at yourself. And I talked to Toby Connor several times. Didn't get much of a comment out of Toby. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I can tell you, the people of Bulloch County ain't pleased. And if I got anything to do with it, and I'm gonna work at it real hard. I grant you. And Roy Thompson and myself have also talked. And I told Mr. Thompson, Roy, that how I felt about it. And he assured me that before anything was done, he would definitely talk back with me. Now, I'm out of time, but God bless y'all.
Lynn Fatika?
Well, I want to make a comment. I was going to make a comment that, and we have talked, and my statement was, I will get back with you after we talk to EPD. We've not talked, well, I haven't, but other people are now talking to EPD. We are requesting that they come down here when the final decisions are made about water, and that they address in a public meeting their findings to everybody that's involved in the water situation, particularly down in that area where those wells are supposedly to go. But my promise to you was to call you, and as soon as I find out, I will. But there will be public meetings with EPD scheduled in the future. And, I'm 77 years old, going on 78. I don't want my well dried up either. I don't want anybody else's well dried up either, regardless of where you live. And so, but soon as these meetings are established, I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that.
Well, I don't know.
But I walked up there.
I'm not lying to you.
So I'm not to just look Mr. Thompson in the eye, but I walked up there because I don't hear good.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, and Ms. Mincy White. These comments are going to be very brief and to the point, and a lot of people tonight here are going to disagree with my comments. But after watching that spectacle in Washington, D.C. today, and spectacle is not the word I want to use, that starts with an S, I want to say thank you for trying to govern this county the best you can in a nonpartisan way and looking out for the best interest of citizens. Yes, we don't agree all the time. Some of us disagree more than we do agree. But I know you're doing your best. Unless somebody has sat in a chair similar to that, they don't understand the scope of the size of this county and the number of people that you have to answer to, all 88,000 plus. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Bruce Simons.
How you gentlemen doing?
Good.
I've been up here several times. I was up here the first time back in April and May, and we was talking about the homestead valuation exemption. Where are we at on that? Y'all said y'all were going to check on it and bring it up, and I've kind of haven't been able to get up here in a couple of months, and I want to know where we at on the homestead valuation freeze exemption.
Anybody want to make a response?
Jeff,
All right. Yeah, we're going to let county attorney.
Well, I looked at the information you sent, and, we've discussed, and there are other, there's a lot of ways you can do a local homestead exemption. It doesn't necessarily have to be a property freeze. It could be an amount, an additional amount that's exempt. But it has to go through the General Assembly, and then you have to have a referendum to pass it. So the commissioners will have to, decide if they want to do it, and then we'll need to contact our legislators to see if they will sponsor it.
Could you show me sometimes where it says it too? Because right here, taxation of power of county and municipal government, it says, and y'all have the power to do that right here. I don't know what you're looking at, but me and you can get together on this.
Yeah, I'll be glad to get together with you.
Y'all got the power to enact this.
No, I'm afraid they don't.
Yeah.
But I'll be glad to meet with you and discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at, but that's not accurate. It has to go through the General Assembly and be voted on in a referendum, local referendum.
All right, but I talked to some of these other counties, they didn't go that, but we will get together on that. Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
He is going to sit down and meet with me on this.
I'll be glad to meet with you, sure.
All right.
You let me know when you want to meet.
It's one of the things that we also talked about on 5-2, it was, I had a long list of questions we went through about the water wells. And nobody really got with me about these questions about the wells drying up, the grandfathering in existing homeowners. Nobody said nothing about all that. It was just like I was up here talking to the air.
Bruce, I'll take that one until I know or we know about the wells and the water drying up and things. Only, you do know who the EPD.
Oh, yeah.
They
By all
govern
means.
water. I don't know anything about the water, but they do. But just like with Randy, I'll be more than happy to call you also
Okay.
whenever we get a report back.
But we also, are y'all putting the horse before the cart or the cart before the horse, buying all these properties, paying, way overpriced for properties for wells, and you don't even know if you can put the wells there yet? I mean, is that what y'all doing? So you don't know yet? And you buying paying $100-something for 3 acres of land right across the street from me and don't even know if you can put a well there? Does that make sense? It don't to me. You just approved it on the agenda there.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. You don't even know if you can do it. And you're paying a man a bunch of money for land.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that, Mr. Roy, Mr. Thompson, that don't make sense.
Right.
I mean, and
Bruce?
yeah, and y'all just proved almost $300,000 just that quick, Just
Well, the reason we do that is so we can patch these potholes without having to spend no, it's more than that now. It's about $800,000 to pave 1 mile of road, dirt road?
But do you need a brand new 2024 truck to do this? I mean, come on. But we won't talk about that. And another thing, I just want to mention, There's been a lot of ordinance and rezoning lately of properties. And you have people stand up here in my area about the factory, about the composition plan. You had somebody up here that was very knowledgeable about the wetlands in my area. You'll pass it anyway. It don't matter what the people, it seems like, it don't matter what the people say. Come up here with petitions and people sign up, like the thing on Schuman Road now. That seems like it was all cut and dried, all of this. And all these people that come up here are just wasting their time. I mean, it looks like that's what it seems to the people out here. I mean, it's just,
I'm gonna invite you to do something. It's come up, I can't do it. Just call me one day next week. I want to show you Schuman Road. I want to show you what those people could have had.
What? Well, it's not only that, it's everything. It was in my area, this comprehensive plan. I mean, this girl got up here on that one meeting, and she said why that new yellow out area was 2/3 wetlands. Why would y'all even think about making that the neighborhood corridor and all? Y'all didn't listen to her. Y'all had a committee that didn't include nobody in that yellowed out area and done it anyway. She sat here and told the plant, everybody in that whole end of the county was against that plant. One commissioner voted against it. And we thank you for listening to the people, Toby. The rest of y'all weren't listening. We are Ag 5. We want to be Ag 5. We don't want some development in here. Matter of fact, one of the developers that comes up here is some of our major problems of what they developed down there in the county. Ask your sheriff. So think long and hard before y'all automatically rezone something because somebody had dinner with somebody. He's somebody's friend. They in the golf club together. I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to rethink it and represent the people and not one or two. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Michael Bailey. Michael Bailey.
Thank you to the commission and Ms. Betsy White for giving me the opportunity to speak. Last meeting, I was a little upset with you passing the zoning on the Schuman Road. So first and foremost, I need to apologize to Mr. Connor and Mr. Stringer because they did vote against it. And I appreciate that. However, Mr. Thompson, can I ask one of my county commissioners a question?
Yes, sir. You've got 4 minutes
Okay.
and 34 seconds.
I want Mr. Rushing, Mr. Simmons, or Mr. Mosley, or Mr. Deal, he's not here. I want you to give me a reason why you thought the Schuman should be a subdivision, Schuman Road, Old River Road property. I mean, give me a good reason, and I'll shut up, and I'll go back there and sit, and I'll give you your minutes back. I want to know. We set this plan together and said, we started dealing with this a year ago when we were doing with the Greg Sykes property. And a year ago, he said, hey, we're going to do a moratorium. We're going to look at this, and this is what we're going to do, and it's going to be cut and dry. If it's in this area, that's for development. You know, you got city sewage coming in here. You don't have to address the septic tanks. That's what we're going to do. I said, man, that's a good idea. And then you passed it. And the day you passed it, the first two that come out the case, you approve them. Doesn't make sense to me. Everybody said, oh, he's going to put a trailer park. The man paid $500,000 for a piece of property. You think he's going to put a trailer park there? And you got to approve the trailer park. Are you going to approve the trailer park? I mean, that's just my, and you know, if you don't want to answer in this public forum, I'll be standing out in the hall after this meeting. I would like to know what your reasons were. All right. Now, next thing I wanted to ask, the wells. And I heard you say you're waiting on the EPD. Do you have any idea how much these 10 million gallons a day is going to drop our water table? Does anybody know that? No idea. Why would you approve something and go buy land for it and you don't know what the impact's going to be? The EPD, is that state EPD or is it federal? I mean, we got a car plant down there. Does anybody in this room think they're not gonna put water in for the car plant? So that's gonna be an issue. Okay, so I got several things to talk about, and some of them I can't talk about, but that's okay. All these petitions, we had 700 signatures. That's more votes than Toby Connor got. That's probably more votes than Mr. Rushing got. That's everybody in that area. And you guys just willy-nilly it wasn't even no discussion. So I got a problem with that. I'll get over it, but I still have a problem with it. But we went around and we tried to get people to sign more petitions. And you know what they said? Oh, I can't sign that. Fear of retaliation from you, from the board, the county commissioners. That's a problem. And if you don't think that's a problem, then that's another problem.
Mr. Bailey, hold on one second. Miss Randy, what's wrong? Well, you're staring at me and you're throwing your hands up. If you want to talk to me when this meeting's over with, we'll talk. But right now, I have to give this respect to Mr. Bailey, and I'm giving him that respect. Now, if you want to talk to me after this meeting, we'll do that.
Better go get the sheriff. That's part of the retaliation. When you bring the sheriff in here and he lectures us, and you lecture us like say we're a bunch of kindergartens, and the sheriff's gonna take you to jail, and he's standing there lecturing us with his hand on his pistol. And I have all the respect for Mr. Knoll. I do. That was inappropriate, and Mr. Thompson, I blame you for that. Because I've been to a lot of these meetings, and I haven't never seen anybody where we had to get the sheriff to haul them out. Have you? Have you, Mr. Thompson?
No, sir, because nobody has actually acted up to that point. But don't think that I would not. In today's world, you don't ever know what's going to happen.
Wow. I don't even know how to, but anyhow, getting back on track, my mind went completely blank on that one. I want to know.
What would you do if somebody was sitting out there and getting unruly? What would you do? And you were afraid that somebody out there had a pistol, which one guy has had a pistol in here. What would you do? Well, forget the clock here just a minute.
Yes.
What would you do if you were afraid
seconds.
of somebody sitting out there with a pistol and things weren't going their way?
You are actually afraid that somebody in this room had a pistol.
Not afraid? The man was sitting right there and had a pistol on.
So a man was in this meeting with a sidearm.
Yes, sir.
I would have asked him to leave. I can't go into county courthouse with a sidearm on, can I?
Well, he was sitting in here.
Can I go into the county courthouse with an armed?
No, not in the courthouse, but you can in here. I hate to say that, but that's under Georgia law, yeah.
Yeah, but you need to fix that. But why do you have to get the sheriff in here saying you're gonna, well, now, you know what? That wasn't even, you can start the clock back. I'm gonna eat my 34 seconds up. That wasn't even associated with that. If I don't like what you say, if you use foul language, he's gonna take you to jail. Did you not, people hear that? I heard it. I heard you tell me in a meeting a year ago that I got your names and you go to sell your property. I'm not gonna let you sell your property.
No, sir.
And if you don't, go back and look, because I got that.
I heard the same thing.
And, oh, hell, excuse me. You made me forget. But I appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking to Mr. Mosley, Simmons, and Mr. Rushing.
Tim Powell.
I want to start by telling the two deputies back here, that wasn't me. Today, I am not armed. So don't put your hands on me. My name's Tim Powell. Tonight, I'd like to comment on the water system that is proposed for the southern part of Bulloch County. A Georgia Department of Community Affairs document called Service Delivery Strategy Form 4 Certification states, "We, the undersigned authorized representatives of the jurisdictions listed below, certify that 4. Our service delivery strategy ensures that the cost of any services the county government provides, including those jointly funded by the county or one or more municipalities, primarily for the benefit of the unincorporated area of the county, are borne by the unincorporated area residents, individuals, and property owners who receive such service. And that ain't nobody in this room or in this county right now. Nobody has received these services, so they're not required to pay for it. This document was provided to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs by officials of this county and is attached to a packet of information provided with water withdrawal permit applications submitted to the Georgia EPD by officials of the Bulloch County government. This document was signed on behalf of Bulloch County on November 7th, 2022 by Commission Chairman Roy Thompson. I realize that that's a mouthful, so let me explain. This is Georgia Official Code 36-70-24, parentheses 3, whatever all that means. But what this says to me, and what anybody else listening with ears should be able to know, that this says no county money provided by citizens who will not benefit from the water system can be spent on the water system, which is every bit of the money the county has in its budget right now. It has been stated in the media by County Manager Tom Couch that $9 million of the $22 million required to drill wells and build infrastructure for this water system will come from American Rescue Plan monies. These ARPA funds were meant for and granted to Bulloch County to assure that the county had enough money to operate county services during the pandemic, not to drill water wells or supply water to EV car factories. The United States government gave this money to the current taxpayers and residents of Bulloch County before this water system was even thought about. Therefore, the expenditure of $9 million of ARPA funds to contribute to the building of this water system is illegal according to this Georgia code. I call on and demand as a citizen taxpayer and on behalf of other citizen taxpayers who will not benefit from this water system that Bulloch County officials immediately conduct a forensic audit of all county funds to ensure and assure that the Georgia Code has not been violated by any of our county officials, including staff. We are watching you, and we are watching the money, and we will continue to do so. Incidentally, as we are still in mourning about what you did to the Bulloch County taxpayers with your recent tax increases, the $9 million of ARPA funds would have covered the entire budget increase that resulted in the tax increase that you have burdened us with. Isn't that a coincidence? I tell you, when I came into this room tonight, I noticed a bad smell. It should smell of new paint and beautiful ornate woodwork and new carpeting and flooring, but because of the hundreds of thousands of our tax dollars that you folks spent to build it. But you know, it smells a lot like an old house that has a rat's nest somewhere in the walls. That stinking rat nest smell, because there must be a bunch of rats running around in here. Commissioners, don't let staff get y'all into legal trouble. Ask questions, be inquisitive, represent the residents and taxpayers. Remember, in the county's organizational chart, which I've told you before, the taxpayers are the CEO at the top of the chart. Then comes the commission, and you're under the taxpayers. Then comes the county manager and the staff, who are under you, not vice versa. Have any taxpayers asked y'all for a county water system? If there are any residents in the audience tonight who want a county water system, would you please stand up if you want one? There's your answer.
Mr. Tarsley? Is it Tarsley? Gary or Gay Tarsley? No, okay, that's it. That's it.
So,
That's it.
okay. Well, we certainly appreciate all of y'all speaking tonight, and to remind you again, we will have or they will set them up. The EPD will have meetings about the wells. And then, I don't know what they will tell you, but I'll be in the meeting too, listening. And that would be the time to ask the questions of the EPD staff. Do we have any staff comments?
Brad Deal, County Engineer. I'll be real brief. Based on your request a few months ago and some citizen requests, we sent a letter to GDOT concerning the intersection of 119 and Mud Road, which I think is pulled up on the screen now. So DOT, we requested for DOT to study the intersection for some safety improvements. There were several accidents at the intersection, including a couple of fatalities. So what DOT came back with, they sent us a letter saying they're recommending to basically eliminate the little curve section you see that comes off of 119 to go towards Springfield if you're coming from Stilson, or vice versa if you're coming from Springfield towards Stilson. So basically what would happen was it would be created to be like a four-way intersection where Mud Road and 119 come in more like a traditional four-leg intersection, which would reduce a lot of the conflicts and hopefully reduce the accidents. The only negatives, it may slow traffic down, but that's actually a good thing. I think at that intersection, that's been one of the reasons there's been a lot of wrecks there. So if any of you have any concerns about any of that, though, let me know, and I will pass that on to GDOT. They're just looking for county feedback on it. So. Yeah, the traffic study is complete, and that's the recommendation, is to remove that little leg right there. So, but if you've got any concerns, just let me know and I'll pass that on to them. So that's it.
Any other staff? Any comments? Then I'll turn it over to commissioners. Any comments?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a few comments.
All right, sir.
Just to kind of, I don't know if it ease anybody's mind or whatever, two or three things were brought up tonight. One was about the price of the land. The wells, big concern of everybody's. With me and Toby's been flooded with calls, we understand. To tell you the truth, just like, I don't know, until we hear back from the EPD, we can't tell you where the wells is going. Y'all may think that we know. We know approximately about, and then another thing is there's two high-volume wells. The other wells that we're looking at are not high volume. They're the same wells that run Statesboro, Brooklet, Register. They'll have a water tower on them, just like the one down on 80 in the edge of Bryant County. Everybody have had a fella say, well, I reckon they done beat you to the punch. They putting a big well in. That's for the fire suppression on that warehouse down there. It's got a low-volume pump like an irrigation well that pumps the water tower up. The water tower's for the fire suppression. If you think that $30,000 an acre is too high for land on I-16 on any interchange, well, I can tell you 2 weeks ago, right there at I-16 and 301, the money's in the bank, the deal closed, Harry Kitchens bought it, he gave $83,000 an acre for it. There's 300-something acres right across the I-16 that's under contract for $60,000 an acre, and I know a bunch of in this room know about it. Now, y'all can sit up here, call us whatever you want to. I personally, to go ahead and answer Mr. Bailey, come up here and call us names and all, don't get your way. I promise you, not with me. Never will. Now, you treat me like somebody, you get treated like somebody. Now, that's your question. Try to answer your question about the wells. Even if the wells don't go there where we purchased the land at, we still got fire stations to look about and some law enforcement stuff to look about. So just because we buy some land don't necessarily mean we fix to get a well driller to go out there. So, I mean, just to let y'all know, they talking about two high volume wells. And everybody keeps saying 6 and 8 and 40 million gallons a day. I mean, I don't know. Undoubtedly, whoever's coming up with all them quotes and questions and all, undoubtedly they know way more about it than we do. So I wish that y'all would come tell us where you're getting your information from, because we don't have it yet. But now it is being studied, and we will let you know when it happens. I don't know if that helped or hurt or what it done, but that's, y'all wanted honest answer? There you go. Honest opinion. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Then hearing none, we're going to have to now close to go into executive session. I must call for a motion to adjourn into executive session in accordance with the provisions of OCGA 50143B2 and other applicable laws pursuant to the advice of County Attorney Jeff Akins for the purpose of discussing personnel matters. Need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion, second. All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous decision. We are now in executive session.
That's just,